Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Tony Yoka defeats Christian Hammer in a 10-round unanimous decision, in which was a rather uneventful fight, and a pretty messy fight to be honest with you. Not the most impressive performance in the world by Tony Yoka. He was the clear winner in this fight, but he never really looked good doing it. He kind of just laboured in this fight to a decision. He pretty much won the majority of the rounds, but Christian Hammer certainly made it physically uncomfortable for him. We was mentioning in the preview for this fight, it'd be interesting to see whether Christian Hammer could pressure Tony Yoka and try to exploit some of Tony Yoka's weakness on the inside and against pressure fighters. I was mentioning that Tony Yoka, he actually struggled with some pressure fighters in the amateurs, and it would be interesting to see whether Christian Hammer could actually show that in the pros. And quite frankly, I think he did to some degree. A lot of that Christian Hammer was doing wasn't all that clean, wasn't all that effective. A lot of cuffing shots, a lot of looping shots. Nothing really got through clean all that often, but it was just his physical presence that was making Tony Yoka uncomfortable. In the clinch, it was noticeable that Christian Hammer was the stronger man. Tony Yoka could never really get Christian Hammer off of his chest, and Tony Yoka would actually resort in taking a knee on the canvas to break up the clinch. The physicality of Christian Hammer definitely gave Tony Yoka some problems, and on the inside there really wasn't too much coming back from Tony Yoka. Tony Yoka would just kind of cover up basically, and he wasn't really throwing anything back. Not that Christian Hammer was all that effective on the inside, but he was really the only guy working up close. So the inside game of Tony Yoka in this bout was kind of non-existent, and his strength, in my opinion, would definitely be concerning moving forwards. Don't get me wrong, there were moments of quality from Tony Yoka. Occasionally he would land the real flashy, sharp jab, some nice 1-2s. He was landing a few good body shots with the left hook. And Tony Yoka won the fight. He landed the better punches. He was showing the better punch technique throughout. And ultimately, he did score with the better shots, but he just really wasn't all that impressive. And going forwards, he certainly needs to make some improvements in regards to his game. I think he needs to bulk up a little bit, build up his strength to cope with guys on the inside, and also just work on his inside game in general. Learn how to shorten up your shots up close, maybe the uppercut through the middle. He threw that shot a couple of times in this fight, but nowhere near enough. And also be a bit more consistent with that jab, because when Yoka was using the jab, at times it was quite effective, but he wasn't using it. He wasn't using it enough, in my opinion. So yeah, it was a disjointed performance by Tony Yoka, and to me, didn't look all that great against Christian Hammer. Now, that's not necessarily a reason to write off Tony Yoka. Christian Hammer's a very tough guy, very experienced, been the distance with Alexander Povetkin, Luis Ortiz. It's not easy to knock out Christian Hammer, and those guys, to be honest, didn't look particularly good against him either. But regardless, certainly things to improve upon for Tony Yoka. They're talking about a fight with Peter Milas next, I believe, for the EBU European title. I think that'll be a good fight for him. Peter Milas is undefeated, Croatian, pretty big heavyweight, but not a massive puncher. I think that could be a good fight for Tony Yoka next, and then go from there. But yeah, certainly improvements are needed for Tony Yoka. I think it's now time for Tony Yoka to expand his horizons, maybe fight in the UK or the USA. I believe he's got a contract with Top Rank, so maybe we could see him fighting on some US Top Rank shows. I think that would be a good idea for his development in general. But yeah, the fight really was disappointing. Christian Hammer came in there with roughhouse tactics, as I was expecting, and Tony Yoka responded as well with his own roughhouse tactics. And yeah, all in all, just a really messy fight. Christian Hammer actually got a cut in this fight by a clash of heads, a pretty bad cut over the eye. He fought through it, he tried his best, but the quality of work from Christian Hammer just really wasn't good enough to really take advantage of Tony Yoka's defensive deficiencies on the inside and his lack of strength. If Christian Hammer was a bit more crisp and had a bit more power, I think Tony Yoka would have been in a lot of trouble tonight. But yeah, Tony Yoka wins by a 10-round unanimous decision, clearly won the fight, but just didn't really look all that impressive doing it. Anyway, share your thoughts below. What did you make of Tony Yoka's performance? Where does he go from here? Who do you want him to fight next? Peace.